What's up, Macon-Bibb? Welcome to the first episode of
Macon It.
I'm Edna Adams.
And I'm Olivia Walter.
And today we have a great guest. I don't know if it's a little bit predictable, but I'm just going to say this guy, I don't know if he has any tattoos, but if he does, I think it would say, I love Macon.
Definitely.
All right, without further ado, introducing the Mayor, Lester M. Miller. Tough question first. What does the M stand for?
Monroe.
What?
Yes, Monroe.
I never knew that.
Me neither. We've been working with
This
him.
whole time I thought it was like a Michael.
Yeah. Monroe.
No,
Is there a story behind that?
Not really. Not really. Not one I could talk about, but Monroe's it, and that's what I'm going to stick to.
It should be Macon.
It should be Macon.
So what's up?
Not much. Just a typical Monday today.
Yeah.
It's okay to
Just
say
your
that?
usual day.
Well, I don't know if it's a usual day. We don't have such a thing as a usual day.
Yeah.
Every day is its own, and it's never a typical day.
Yeah. I've not met anybody else that works as hard as the mayor. And I'm not just saying that because we work with him and for him, but your car is probably the first one that I see in the office every single morning, and it's probably the last. Why is that?
Because I'm dedicated, number one. Number two, I have a lot of things on my mind every day, so I have to make sure it gets done. And the only way to make sure it's going to get done is I do it myself. So I get here a little early in the morning, stay late to make sure that I'm ready for the next day.
Yeah.
What inspired you to run for office and really do what you could for Macon?
Well, as you said before, I love Macon. Plan on staying here my entire life. I want my family to be here their entire lives, and hopefully they choose Macon just like I did. But I think we have a lot to be thankful for here in our community, and I think we have a lot of great leaders and a lot of people behind the scenes that's really not in that, out front, that clique. And I think to make it easier for everybody to get involved, I think someone like myself, who's I consider to be a man of the streets, from Macon, boots on the ground, been all over the place and had a lot of exposure to Macon. I want to make sure people like me can see themselves in these type of positions.
Nice. Did you ever think that you would run for mayor as a young child?
Not really. It took me a while to figure out what a mayor would do, but certainly I majored in political science at Mercer, so I had some aspirations to serve our community in some capacity at some point, and started at the school board, as you can imagine, and 8 years of that is pretty much all I could do. Had 4 more years I could do, and then I decided that when this open seat came up in 2020, I thought I'd put my hat in the ring and give it a best try.
And you mentioned that you grew up here in Macon. Tell us a little bit about where'd you go to school?
Yeah, who was young Lester? Not saying that you're not. Yeah, who was little Lester?
Well, it'd take all day to tell you where I went to school at, but as many people know, I went to 7 different elementary schools in Macon in 7 years. Not because I got in trouble too much and they kicked me out, but because we moved around from neighborhood to neighborhood. And then went to Ballard and Southwest High School for the remaining of my time. And, of course, stayed here at Mercer Undergraduate and Law School. So I'm a lifelong resident. I'm a supporter of the public school system, and both of my boys also went to K through 12 through the public school system.
Nice. What were some of the activities you were doing, growing up?
Activities. I love to play baseball.
Yeah.
For sure. Any sports, I was always there. Got involved in a lot of community service. I was a Civitan for a long period of time. Helped in the Key Club, volunteer in Macon. My first job was rent a team. We had such a thing as when I was coming up that, you could contact this bulletin board, say I want to rent this team for 6 or 7 hours. They would come over there and cut your grass, pick up your pine straw, do whatever you need to be doing, carry groceries in and out of the car, wash your car. First got started doing some good hard work and made some good money, and, kind of opened up my own little business there for cutting grass when I was real young.
You were a young entrepreneur.
That's
and
right.
Would go on to be, own multiple businesses as well. Talk to us a little bit about that.
That's right. I was always wanting to do things. Used to sell candy at school, T-shirts, kind of did that little thing. And when I got to be at Mercer, even at 19 years old, I opened up my first business there. Started out in a restaurant and bar business. Kind of helped my way through law school with working in the food service business, whether I was the chef at Bill's 1860 Restaurant, which is a 5-star restaurant on College Street where Mercer Strings is now, or doing some catering by less. That's what it's called, catering by less. So I catered every wedding, every Macon-Bibb County's city picnic every year. Did that, and always been a good strong supporter of those that want to start their own business. It's a tough business to be in, especially if you're in a restaurant and service business. And of course, I opened up some sports facilities as well, and we had a lot of men and women, boys and girls come through our organization that made it big.
Did you say it by less? Is that what your friends
Catering
call
by
you?
less. That's right. Less.
Less. Mayor Less.
Get more with less. That's right.
Love it.
Getting more with less.
Thanks, Lester.
That's right.
And then you went on to do that. Talk to us about that.
Well, you just owe me some money because that name is copyrighted.
Oh.
Thanks, Lester.
We'll take it off the page.
Say as much as you can.
Boss.
But I wanted to brand myself. I ran for an office. A lot of people don't realize that the first time I ran for office, I was not as successful as far as getting the victory there. So I ran for judge in 2004. Taught me a lot about myself. Taught me a lot about branding and how to get my name out there to be recognized in the community. And quite honestly, I put a lot of my money involved in that race. Didn't have anybody running it. Didn't really know how to run a campaign at that point in time, and did not win. There was 3 people in that race. I announced way too soon. But what it did teach me, if you put in a little money and invest yourself into brand, good things will happen. So out of that unsuccessful attempt to run for Superior Court Judge in Bibb County, I became well known in the community because I had my name out there, and thanks Lester was born.
When you were finally elected as the mayor of Macon-Bibb County, you really hit the ground running right away. In 2021, you really had a bunch of initiatives that you had in mind that
You were keeping us busy.
Yeah, things had to be done yesterday pretty much. But with things like Brookdale Resource Center and Macon Mental Health Matters and
The Blight Fight.
Tell us about some of these projects that have really grown just in your time being here.
Well, I wanted to do things that people could relate to. Getting back to being a person on the streets, I wanted something you could touch and feel and see. We do a lot of big topic issues that people never see on the street. But something like the Brookdale, of course, we know the story behind that and the 2 gentlemen that passed away. And it kind of put it up on our priority. But having something that most people could relate, that they can contribute to, was very important for us. The mental health matters is another thing. Dealing with some issues in our family a long time ago, not having the proper insurance to get the help that we needed, not seeing people like my mom be able to go through the whole process to get a great job, to have insurance, to do the things that she could have done as a woman, because I know she had the energy to do it. But we lacked the insurance and a lot of the skills I think that needed, especially for young women to be successful. Watching that made me really focus on the mental health. Being a criminal attorney for a while, being a lawyer for a while, but certainly a criminal attorney, seeing people come through our justice system, knowing the struggles they find, the place they find themselves in with the mental trauma that they have, and the lack of treatment that we have, and filling up the jails with that, made me want to focus on things like that. And then as far as the blight fight, driving around our community each and every day and seeing all the blight that we have there and seeing nothing being done about it was a little disconcerting. And then, of course, when I was on the campaign trail, everywhere I went around the community, every zip code, people would tell me, we need to do something about this and we need to do something about this. So I made a point to try to make sure I can fulfill those campaign promises that they were asking me for.
So I think a lot of these initiatives that we talked about, we only mentioned 3, and there are several others that I can think of in this moment. But the common theme is that, you start with this idea, and it comes from, an idea that a citizen might have told you, or, you've talked about. But then you get a group of people behind each of these initiatives. How important is that for you to have people from different walks of life, different backgrounds, all come together for each group? None of these initiatives are done with just one person.
Oh, that's correct. I think it's not all going to work without having buy-in, what I call buy-in. But as the very beginning, as most of you know, that we formed a transition team that looked like our community. And some of those folks on that transition team did not support Lester Miller for mayor. I want to get that straight. We needed input from everybody. We needed to make sure that we had buy-in from all parts of the community. So we brought a variety of people together from all walks of life because we value their ideas, we value their thoughts, and a lot of times they have some really, really good things that they can focus on. But one thing about that is when you have people come together like that and they say, let's do this, if you give them an opportunity, if you empower them with things to do, they take hold of that. They don't want to see it fail either, right? So they want to make sure they work just as hard as I do to make sure it's successful, and they can brag about it and they can help spread that around. every project we have, as you know, I'm just a person in front of the microphone. I have some crazy thoughts late at night, and we put it to paper. I get up the next morning, or maybe even late at night on my phone. We get up the next day, and we figure out how we can get this done. But it usually involves who are the players? Who can we bring into the fold in a collaborative effort to make this thing happen? And, right now we have a branding thing going on. It's not a logo. It's branding Macon-Bibb County, getting all of our parties working together for one common reason. I think we've been able to be successful because of that.
Yeah, and I think that really showed as well with Macon Violence Prevention, MVP. That was another really early on initiative that we worked on. And really the crowd that stood behind
I get chills.
You and behind the other people speaking in that podium.
That hot summer day.
That really just exemplified what Macon is a big community of people that all different walks of life that got together and really wanted to make Macon better. And I think that's something that you really try to emphasize as well.
Well, we have a melting pot in Macon. I think we can call it that. We bring everybody together under one umbrella, and we show them the positive thing. The other thing, people will rally around the positive. We hear so much negative around the world today, and even in our own community sometimes with the media, that people want something. They want hope. They want to see things successful. They want to be a part of success. And one way to do that is bring everybody to the table, show them a game plan, get buy-in from them, and then move forward with what you say you're going to do. We also want to bet on ourselves. We want to bet on the people in our community. That's what we do. We know we have a vibrant community. We know we have good people in here. We just need to give them a platform that they can succeed. And right now, everybody's bought into that for a good reason, and we got a lot of positivity going on. And I don't see anything stopping us in the future.
Well, I think that's the goal too with this podcast that our communications department has launched. Our goal with this department, with your administration, with everything that we do, is to try to be as transparent as possible. What we're trying to do is bring on different people that make our community what it is with this. So talk to us about how important that is for you to relay your message through the communications department in order for it to be pushed out as well.
Well, I think we don't have a cookie cutter community.
Right.
So I think everyone receives their information through different sources. Whether you're young or old, or what part of the county you live in, we have to meet people where they're at. But I also think we have to let people know from the very basic level how government is formed, what our roles are, what our responsibilities are, the division that we have as far as the division of services. A lot of times I get called all the time about a particular issue with the school. As you know, when you're inside baseball, I don't handle the school. I don't handle the school millage rate. You may have a stormwater issue, and even though they call my office maybe to complain, ask a question, even give a compliment, that's the Macon Water Authority's responsibility.
Right. So
we have to, learn what everybody's roles and responsibilities are. But I think it's important that people know their local government, know who they can call on if they have an issue, and know what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to react to certain things.
That was also an opportunity for you to tell us how great we are at our jobs and job security. Thank you.
Well, we know we have an award-winning team in our communications department, and it's a fun job. We have a lot of fun. I can appreciate that. I like to have fun myself. Sometimes we think outside the box.
Yeah. Like you skydiving.
That's right.
Maybe and
rappelling off,
and when we go and speak to different organizations and other communicators across the country, they're like, "Did your mayor really do that?" You're into having fun, but at the same time getting business done, and so there's a fine balance between both.
I would agree. I think you have to make work fun, otherwise it's just work. And I think people want to see you having fun and that you're enjoying your job, and it's not just something that you dread to do each and every day. So I think we have a great team. We have a fun team. We get things done together, and I think it shows to everybody in the public. And you also want the public to kind of mirror the things you're doing. So if you're grouchy when you come to work, you're going to have grouchy public, right? If you're fun-loving and you've got hope for our community, I think they're going to mirror that. So that's what we want to do.
At the end of the day, you're human too. Like, it's less. It's less.
It's less. Speaking of having fun, I think pretty shortly we were going to be announcing the next Macon Mayor's Sneaker Ball.
Uh-oh.
And
he's like, what?
Yeah, I know. Tell us a little bit about the Sneaker Ball every year.
Well, it's something born of a lot of great people thinking behind the scenes, and quite honestly, in the very beginning, I had to be kind of nudged a little bit to make sure it was something we wanted to do. We were going through, a new transition here. We had the bicentennial coming up, And I've never really seen a sneaker ball, certainly never been to one. But it is a way that a lot of people can come together from different genres, different walks of life. And it's really cool, right? When I go dancing, I don't like doing hard shoes myself, so tennis shoes makes it a little bit easier to get out there and to dance a little bit. We found that after the first one, it was very successful. People were excited to be in the room, and already they were looking at the next years and the next year. So it's beginning to catch on from a lot of people. We may outgrow our current venue, have a little growing pains there, but I think it brings people together, music, dancing, everybody there on that floor having a great time, and kind of can take a break for a while on the the challenges we have in this world to kind of fellowship together. And I think it's going to be something that's going to continue even after I'm gone.
I mean, I don't know, but I just hope that every year we get those sick breakdancing moves.
Well, I'm getting a little older, so I don't know about the breakdancing move, but maybe we'll incorporate other people into the dance routine. This year I can kind of picture what already may happen there. I want to get everybody involved and have a great time. So, I can go back to my old tumbling days. I used to be a tumbler. Gymnastics is what you call it. Yeah, W.T. Morgan Elementary School, we had a traveling team in gymnastics, and used to love doing backflips and cartwheels and bendovers, and you name it, we did it all. And we traveled around to some of the other schools and kind of performed on the tumble bus. You may have seen that around there.
Okay.
But so maybe I'll break out a couple of backflips or something this next year.
You've heard it here on the podcast. Lester
Exclusive.
Miller. Mayor Lester Miller will be doing a backflip off the stage, I think.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Backflips by Les. I love it. Let's brand it. Government can seem scary or intimidating or boring for some people. And it's really not, because once you dive into it and know how things work, I mean, you just had some kids from one of our MVP camps that came to visit, and they were really excited to hear from you personally about how you get things done. So that's one of the things that we want to do with this podcast. How can people get involved too? Because I know, it can seem intimidating, but you really talk to people like on the street and that are giving you ideas. And then sometimes those ideas lead them to sitting in your office and talking about something, and we see something fruition. Can people just, give you some ideas, or how does that work with you?
I think I'm a pretty much open book. Most people can reach out on social media to Lester Miller for Mayor,
Facebook.
Directly message me. I have an open door policy too,
Yeah.
and it clearly means open door. If you come to City Hall, my door is open. That's an open invitation for you. If it's shut, it means I'm busy or in a meeting, but I'll get back to you. On the streets, I'm 24/7, right? Even though I'm out at dinner sometimes, don't mind people coming up to me. I ran for this job for a reason, and I expected to carry some things with it. If I want to take a vacation out of town, that may be different, but I think that's a great example about the kids that came the other day. They were very excited to get to meet a mayor.
Mm-hmm.
They treat the mayor like the president, and they were very special kids. A lot of great ideas too. You'd be surprised. I was asking them the questions that I needed to hear from them, so I can tell the adults in the room this is what the kids are asking for. So I think that's probably going to lead to having a special another council that I have with these kids to kind of get their input from all across the county. So I'm excited about that. And really, they were saying a lot of the things that parents should be saying, and it kind of broke the ice a little bit with them. I don't think in the very beginning they were a little bit timid, but after we really got into the material, they were very excited, and we had so many questions that day we couldn't take them all.
Well, even in the beginning, I'm going back to MVP, and when we were first launching that and getting input from the community, you also went out to Southwest and talked to those kids. That was like a couple of years ago, and they were giving you some ideas that are now implemented. They said they wanted to see more activities, and what are we doing? We're providing different activities for them.
Yeah, so I mean, Southwest is my alma mater, so go Patriots. But nothing against the other schools, but they gave me a lot of valuable information and things I hadn't thought about, and then we try to get them engaged. And perhaps some of these they wanted some music, and the amphitheater kind of plays into that. They wanted some new sports places, and you'll see something in the spots for that. So I think they can take their little simple ideas, just like you would if you're starting a new business. Put somebody in a leadership position that can actually hear what you're saying, put the resources behind it, and really accomplish what they want through us.
Before we let you go, what's next? You've been reelected, and what are these next 4 years looking like?
I say more of the same. We're going to continue to look after all of our citizens from every part of our community. We're going to keep taxes low. We're going to focus on the things that matter to people on the ground level. Our bike program is going to really take off. The airport, I'm very excited about, talking about taking out. We're going to soar to the next level out there. The world's largest guitar that you're going to see from over above, and it's going to be something we all are proud about. Macon Mall going to continue to thrive. New national park, we hope, is on the way. We got some great, exciting new stores that's going to come to our community, new restaurants that we can't say right now, but you'll see those things happen. just more of the same. We're going to continue building some new affordable housing in Macon, getting everyone involved. And right now, our public safety is looking great. We're bringing new people to the table each day. We're looking for our crime to continue to decrease. So the biggest part about it is we're going to bring more people to the table to help share in the work and the vision that we have. And I think by the end of this next 4-year term, we're going to accomplish a lot, even more so than we did the first term.
Yeah, and with that, we're going to hear all about those things as they come to fruition. And all on this podcast. We're going to have people on this podcast to talk about those items. The new national park you mentioned. The mall is going to be a topic we'll have later on in future episodes. We've talked about the amphitheater as well. We're going to have all of those topics talked about here on Macon It.